We'll call to order the City of Douglasville City Council regular meeting for tonight, which is Monday, December the 4th. And our invocation will be done by Mr. Greg Roberts, our Maintenance and Sanitation Director. After that, we'll have our Pledge of Allegiance, which will be led by Mayor Pro Tem Larry Yockey. Please stand for the invocation.
Thank you. Let's pray. Our dear Heavenly Father, we come to you this day, Lord. We give you thanks and praise for all your goodness and for all the things that you've done for us, for life and health. I pray, Lord, that tonight at this meeting that the mayor and the council will represent the people of the city of Douglasville in the manner that they always do, with a cordial behavior and a concern for the good of the city of Douglasville, and that we can all leave here saying that it was good to serve not only the people, but to serve the Most High God. In Jesus' name, amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much, Mayor Pro Tem and Mr. Roberts, for always being available to do the invocation and to pray. We really appreciate that. We'll go to announcements and presentations. We do not have any presentations tonight, but I will go over the announcements just to give us information on how the meeting will take place. I'd like to welcome you again to the Douglasville City Council Legislative Work Session. This is a work session. I apologize, this is the voting meeting. I have the wrong paper. We will be voting on agenda items that were discussed on Thursday night. Tonight, the council will vote on the agenda items that were discussed last week, and items that will be voted on tonight have been discussed previously. Therefore, unless you have new information to present, you do not need to reintroduce the same material that was presented at the work session. If the business you're here to discuss is not listed as an agenda item, there will be ample time to discuss your business under the agenda item comments from citizens and delegates. So before we start with the agenda, I'd just like to go over a couple of more procedural items. I ask that you would keep your comments and your presentations on a professional level, dealing with the facts that are important for the council members to make their decisions. We will not accept comments that are considered to be personal attacks against individuals or groups. Only one person will speak at a time, please. We ask that you will not be disruptive during the meetings by applauding or cheering. And if you would, please, if you have a cell phone or any electronic devices, if you would put those in silent mode or turn those off during the meeting so they will not be disruptive. The committee chairperson will read the agenda item, make his or her motion before the vote. If the applicant has additional information, he or she may present it at that time. And the council will vote on your items, and we'll move on with the business for tonight. Okay, so we've gone on, and we'll go to item 6, which is a consent agenda. Open the floor. Oh, I apologize. Minutes. We have the minutes, thank you, Mayor Pro Tem, of the legislative work session of November 16th, 2017, and the regular meeting of November 20th, 2017. I open the floor for a motion.
Yes, I make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Second.
Thank you. It's been properly moved and second to approve the minutes as presented. Are there any additional questions or comments or corrections to the minutes? Thank you. Not seeing any. All of those in favor of approving the minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you. The ayes to approve the minutes have it. Now we'll move on to the consent agenda.
Yes, I make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Thank you. It's been properly moved and second to approve the consent agenda as presented. Are there any additional questions or comments as it relates to the consent agenda? Okay. All of those in favor of approving the consent agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Thank you. The ayes have it. We'll move on to committees. The first committee is Public Safety Committee. That's chaired by Councilmember Samuel Davis.
Yes, ma'am. No items at this time, Madam Mayor. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Councilman Davis. We'll move on to Community and Economic Development Committee. That's chaired by Councilmember Mark Adams.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have one item of business tonight. That's item 21-17-38.
appoint Ms. Elena Hudson to the Douglasville Downtown Development Authority to fill a term expiring March 22nd, 2018 for post 1. There was an election on this at our previous meeting, but it was understood that that was not heard on our recording, so I will state that name again and put that form into motion for approval.
Second?
Thank you. It's been properly moved in second to appoint Ms. Elena Hudson. Item 21-17-38 to appoint Ms. Elena Hudson to the Downtown Development Authority. And that term expires March 22nd, 2018. That's post number 1. I know we already voted, but we'll vote again. All of those in favor of approving Ms. Hudson, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Thank you. It's been unanimously approved. Ms. Hudson, item 21-17-38 is approved.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. That's all we have.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. We'll move on to Planning and Development Committee. That's also chaired by Councilmember Mark Adams.
I'm sorry, no business tonight, Madam Mayor. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, sir. We'll move on now to Parks and Recreation Committee. That's chaired by Councilmember Chris Watts.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have no business tonight under Parks and Rec.
Thank you so much, Councilman Watts. Finance Committee. That's chaired by Mayor Pro Tem Larry Yockey.
Yes, I have 3 items, maybe 4. I make a motion to remove from the table item number 24-17-43.
Second.
Thank you. It's been properly moved and second to remove item 24-17-43 from the table. All those in favor of removing this item from the table, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Thank you. The ayes have it. Item 24-17-43 is removed from the table.
After removing the item from the table, item number 24-17-43, adopt an ordinance to amend subsection 2-50C of the administration ordinances to revise provisions concerning air travel for elected officials. We're going to go ahead and vote on this. I make a motion to approve item 24-17-43.
Second.
Thank you. It's been properly moved and second to approve item 24-17-43. Are there any additional questions or comments as it relates to this item? Thank you. Not hearing any. All of those in favor of approving item 24-17-43, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Thank you. The ayes have it. Item 24-17-43 is approved.
My next item is motion to move from the table item number 24-17-44. I make a motion to remove this item from the table.
Thank you. It's been properly moved in second to remove item 24-17-44 from the table. All of those in favor of removing this item from the table, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Thank you. The ayes have it. Item 24-17-44 is removed from the table.
After removing this item, we're going to vote on this item 24-17-44, adopt an ordinance to amend subsection 2-50 of the administration ordinance to clarify provisions concerning meal expenses for elected officials when traveling on city business and to enact subsection 2-50 of said ordinance to require filing of written expense reports. This was option number 3 in our meeting that we just held. So I make a motion to approve this item.
Second.
Thank you. It's been properly moved in second to approve item 24-17-44 with option number 3. Are there any additional questions or comments as it relates to this item? Thank you. All those in favor of approving item 24-17-44 being option number 3, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay.
Nay.
Okay, we have one opposition. It's been, the ayes have it. So item 24-17-44 is approved.
My final item is item number 24-17-45, adopt a resolution approving and authorizing the issuance of revenue refunding bonds of the Douglasville Convention and Conference Center Authority and the terms thereof, and approving certain documents in that connection, including authorization of the mayor to sign a preliminary official statement, a disclosure certificate, an intergovernmental contract with the authority, and a bond purchase agreement with the authority and Raymond James and Associates Incorporated and related matters. I make a motion to approve item 24-17-45.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. It's been properly moved in second to approve item 24-17-45. Are there any additional questions or comments as relates to this item from council members with the bond purchase agreement? Thank you. Not seeing any. All those in favor of approving item 24-17-45, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Thank you. The ayes have it. Item 24-17-45 is approved.
And that's all I have tonight for the Finance Committee.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. We'll move on to Information and Technology Committee. The Vice Chair is Councilmember Mike Miller.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have no business tonight.
Thank you so much, Mr. Vice Chairman. Maintenance and Sanitation Committee, chaired by Councilmember Mike Miller as well.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have no business tonight.
Thank you, sir. Transportation Committee, the Vice Chair is Councilmember Samuel Davis.
No items at this time, Madam Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Vice Chair. Personnel and Organization Committee, and the Vice Chair is Councilmember Watts.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have no business tonight under Personnel and Organization.
Thank you so much, Vice Chairman. Ordinance and Intergovernmental Committee, that's chaired by Councilmember Mike Miller.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have no business tonight.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. Education and Training Committee, that's chaired by Councilmember Samuel Davis.
No items at this time, Madam Mayor. Thank you.
You're welcome, Mr. Chairman. Now we'll go to, is there any other business to be discussed from council members' perspective?
Madam Mayor, I'd just like to take the opportunity again to thank all of those that were involved in our Christmas parade. I know it was a raving success. I believe that Ms. Patrice Williams should be commended again, as I mentioned in the committee meetings, but I know we had, I want to say, was it 52 entries?
Yes, sir.
And I believe that year prior we had 24.
Mm-hmm.
A great time, great weather, blessed by our good Lord to have had such good weather at a time here in December when it should be much colder, and it's a really good turnout.
Yes,
I'm just
sir.
thankful that we were able to pull that off. Thanks to everyone.
You're welcome. Thank you so much. And I'll just piggyback on that as well, Councilman Adams, to say that the next day for Breakfast with Santa was really well attended, and we sold out of tickets for people to attend with their children. Santa even got challenged with his beard, and he allowed children to tug on his beard. He was a great Santa, and was a lot of fun. It was a great time in the League of Stars, which is formerly the Miracle League. Those kids were really, that was my Christmas family, and they were really blessed. It was nice to see. So I thank staff, Mr. Kendricks, and everyone, and Travis Landrum, and everyone at the parks in Hunter Park. It was a great event. So we thank Ms. Patrice as well. I know she organized that as well. So any other business from council members? So we'll move on. Our Chief Assistant City Attorney, Ms. Susan Littlefield.
No business, Madam Mayor.
Thank you so much. That isn't the chief, that's Mr. J.R. Davison. How are you?
Good.
You have any business tonight?
No business, Madam Mayor.
Thank you so much. We'll move on to the city manager, Ms. Marcia Hampton.
Yes, ma'am. Just wanted to briefly address some of the reports that you all have seen regarding parking downtown as it relates to disabled parking for ADA, also as it relates to loading and unloading for the businesses downtown. I wish I could tell you that we have exact answers tonight. We do not, but what I can tell you is between the police department, maintenance and sanitation director, and Patrice Williams, our community development manager, we're working with the downtown businesses as well as with those, asking them to reach out to the companies that do serve them, as well as in our building department and from a policing perspective, making certain that we're patrolling the area. One of the things that we're interested in is, one, being able to make certain that those businesses along Broad Street are able to be adequately served. So we're potentially looking at if they're, what time limits or what times they're being served to make certain they get what they need. Also looking at their customers being able to have a place to park, whether that means that they require assisted parking or not. Mm-hmm. And then also the police department is very aware that we do have some people that in the past several weeks and probably for a period of time have been violating the parking and they're looking at that and taking action for that. So probably in the next couple weeks, we will come to you with the plan. It probably will not necessarily satisfy everyone. It may even require some relocation of current parking to make certain that we are able to serve everyone adequately. But those are the things that we're looking at and making certain that we address all the needs and all the concerns that are currently on the table. I know Councilman Miller, particularly where he and I have been communicating as well as with the staff to try to address some of the concerns that he's received as well.
Thank you so much, Madam City Manager. Before I open it up to the council members, I will make a comment in that I believe there are some issues with the sloping or the topography of the downtown area and those parking spaces. So I know we're looking at that as well.
Yes, our building official, he'll be able to take a look at it to make certain that there's current spaces meet ADA requirements. I know that most recently, of course, the ones in the parking deck do. So we'll take a look at all of those things. And again, just trying to make certain we adequately serve everyone in need.
Yes, ma'am. Open the floor to council members to respond. Councilman Miller, did you?
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
You're welcome.
I just wanted to say this was, I want to thank the constituents for posting and getting the idea out there. Initially, I was concerned, but I was also wanting to make sure that we handled it comprehensively with owners and business owners, especially the restaurants with the delivery, also taking into consideration the delivery folks as well as the disabled people who were relying on that. So I think we've done a great job. As soon as we realized there was an issue, Mr. Roberts and I went around to do some research, and then Marcia got on it as quickly as possible. So, sometimes you make mistakes or things happen that you can't control. But what's important is how you handle that. And I think the city's done a real good job on that. Thank you, Marcia, and thank you, Mr. Roberts.
Thank you so much to you as well, Councilman Miller, for Maintenance and Sanitation and being on the Public Safety Committee as well for looking into that issue.
Well, and also, I really thank the folks. I mean, it's hard for some folks to get in and make their comments to us. So, Facebook is a good way to get it across. So, so we're handling it. We're getting it done. I feel good about it.
Yes, sir. Councilman Yaki, I was going to say Mayor Pro Tem Yaki.
That's fine. What is the fine for parking in handicap parking if you don't have a sticker or the right item? Do we know?
I'm sorry if you're
Do we know what the
addressing
fine?
me.
Do we know what the
dollar
fine
amount?
I don't know what the bond amount is. The judge has a range of fines he can give out.
For that?
Yes.
Really? Oh.
Is it supposed to be posted on the sign, or it isn't? It's not a requirement?
I can't tell you without looking
It
at
is
the statute.
posted?
Oh, because I thought it was $50, or it's more than that. Okay.
Okay.
We'll move
All
on.
right.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Any other
That's all I
comments
have.
from council members? Council members? Okay. We will move on to comments from citizens and delegates. I apologize, all you have, Madam City Manager?
Only thing I was going to add is just to remind you all that we do have some employee activities tomorrow. So if you check your email, there's some times and locations for those that are able to make it. And then at your next round of meetings, that will be your last set of meetings for 2018.
Can you believe it?
2017. I'm like, we're going into 2018. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you so much, Madam City Manager. We'll move on now to comments from citizens and delegates. Now the floor is open for any citizens who remained and would like to address myself and the council members. The floor is open to you. Please come to the podium, or you can, if you're not able to, you can speak from your seat and address the mayor and council. Please give your name and address for the record, and we'd be happy to hear from you.
You want to speak? Okay. Greg, can you assist her?
Is that okay? Okay.
We can hear you. Yes, ma'am.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Madam Mayor and Council, I would like to thank you for taking the time to listen to the disabled community.
Please give us your name and address so we'll have it
I'm
for
sorry,
the record.
Kim Harrison,
Yes, ma'am.
7782 Cynthia Court, Douglasville, and
Yes,
proud of it.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm
Thank you, Ms.
the
Harrison.
chapter leader for United Spinal Association in Georgia, and what I'd like to do is be more involved with our local community. I go to D.C. twice a year for Roll on Capitol Hill. I lobby a lot in D.C., and what I'd like to do is start bringing it local. Obviously, anyone who saw WSB, I'm the one that was on TV Friday night. I can tell you right now that where the truck was parked, it was a private citizen out front. It was not a delivery truck. It was a private citizen. If someone from the city wasn't texting the police that night, it would not have been addressed, and the TV station was there. That truck would have been there until the parade started. It was one of the parade trucks. I'd like to stress that I know handicap parking is not a top issue with the police force. I come from a family of police officers, so I do understand if someone's being assaulted or a bank robbery, handicap parking is going to come last. But there is other solutions we can do as a community to either educate the citizens on illegal parking. We can use Parking Mobility as an app where it takes a picture of the back of the car, the front of the car, and that application will send it to either police or the sheriff, and a ticket can be mailed to the offender, or a one-time warning. I know I have spoke with the sheriff and the police chief both, Mr. Pounds and Mr. Sparks, both one-on-one, and I was a little discouraged I was told it's not a safety issue and it's a very low priority. It is a safety issue to someone who is sitting out in the heat in August over 45 minutes waiting for someone to move their car because they're illegally parked and I can't get in my car. They didn't show it on the news, but it takes me 6 to 8 foot clearance to get into my car. I do not sweat or perspire with a spinal cord injury. So when I get overheated, it causes me to go into almost like a stroke. So as I sit in a parking lot, is this 911 when we have police officers that have other things to do and emergencies where I don't feel comfortable calling 911 over someone illegally parked. But if we had parking patrol, which is, I've talked to quite a few retired officers that would love to do something like that where they pass out the violation. When I was in San Diego on vacation with my mom, before she could take the hanger out of the window and back out, there was already a parking patrol at the car wanting to see her handicap placard. And she had literally just taken it down, was starting to back out, and they were questioning her placard and wanted to know the name on it and wanted to see the ID. And I think the city's losing a lot of money on fines, $250 to $500 per offense. There's money that we're losing by ignoring this issue. But I do want to work closely, and I want to try to make a positive change. I don't want it to be where people are getting out of their cars and causing conflict. We need to educate the community. It was actually interesting talking to somebody Friday night that was completely unaware you don't park in the hash marks. That's what you need to unload a wheelchair, as we're talking to the TV station. So I don't want to come across as negative, but it is a safety issue. It is. If one time you had to sit in your car, sometimes a half an hour to an hour waiting for someone to come out and move theirs. So my stuff melted while I'm waiting. And we're calling, we're paging, and even by the time someone gets there to tow the car, my stuff's ruined. I work hard. I pay taxes. I should be able to get in and out of my car and go to any establishment here in Douglasville. I should be able to shop local, keep it local, and conduct business here. And that's all we're asking. And it's not just the wheelchair community. You have visually impaired who'd like to, with someone who's aiding them. They want to be able to park close to the facility and maybe go into Irish Bread Pub and not park all the way at the parking garage. Like right now, someone's going to have to walk me to my car because I'm not going over there in the dark. That's my concern. I want to be able to park out front where it's visible, it's lit. It's very well lit here, and this is a beautiful parking lot, and I commend the city for that. But I'm not going there by myself at night. I'm not putting myself in that kind of a safety situation. So when we leave here, I might find someone to walk me to my car. But I do thank you, and I would like to work very closely and make a positive change in our community. A lot of it's just education. People just don't know. And the biggest offenders, and I'll tell you right now, is handicapped people. That's the biggest offenders. They'll park however they want, across the aisles. It doesn't matter. They think as long as they got the placard, they can park however they want. So I can tell you right now, the biggest offenders are handicapped.
Thank you.
Serious. Thank you for your time.
It's kind of uncharacteristic, may I ask Ms. Harrison a question?
Yes, sir.
I know the city's taking this very, very serious.
Mm-hmm.
who is it? Would it be yourself, or is there someone else that we can discuss the situation with? And
I'm a chapter leader for United Spinal for all of Georgia, so I'm,
okay, so it'd be appropriate. Ms. Hampton, are you? I know you and Greg are working on this, but is it
available.
possible for someone to communicate with Ms. Harrison and get her sentiments on some of this stuff?
Yes, sir. No problem.
I can leave you my card too.
And then my last question, I just want to back up just a little bit. You had called the Douglasville Police Department on this, and again, what did they tell you?
It's not a priority. One told me it's not a priority, and the other one told me it's not a safety issue.
Okay.
I talked to both.
Was it just the receptionist, or do you know?
No, Sheriff Pounds and
Okay.
Chief Sparks.
Well, we don't want to do personal.
I talked to
okay.
both of them. That's why I'm not going to say which one said what, but both of them clearly
Okay.
enumerated it's not a safety issue and it's not a priority.
Well,
Okay.
But we need to look at the disabled community, not just the wheelchair users. It's everyone who needs those spots.
Okay, that's all I have, Madam
Okay.
Mayor.
Thank you. Any other
Thank you.
comments from council members? No, thank you so much for coming forward, Ms. Harrison. We have been working on the issue since it was brought to our attention, and we certainly will continue to do the best that we can to serve all the citizens in the city of Douglasville. Thank you so much. Any other comments from citizens and delegates?
Thank you, ma'am, for your comments.
Mr. Miller?
Terry Miller.
Councilman-elect?
6534 Spring Street,
Yes, sir.
Douglasville, Georgia. I also wanted to actually lend my services to the city and to Councilman Miller and to Greg Roberts for any assistance they need in developing a comprehensive ADA plan. As an architect, this is my field. This is something that I work within the parameters of every single day. And I wanted to clarify something, too, so that people understand here. Americans with Disabilities Act is not a building code, as people oftentimes think it is. It's not enforced. It doesn't have to be enforced via code enforcement agencies. It is actually is a civil law, and it is technically to be enforced by civil action. So essentially what happens is if there are violations, the ultimate responsibility is for the person who feels violated to sue the responsible agency. That's how it's technically was designed to be enforced. It was never meant to be a building code. Now, some jurisdictions enforce it out of convenience as a building code, but technically it is not a building code. So that being said, I'm more than happy to, like I said, lend my services to the assistance, because this is something I have plenty of resources available within my office as well to help you guys out to get this right, because it's something that's very important. As this wonderful woman has pointed out, spend one day in a wheelchair and you'll realize the criticality, if that's a word, the criticalness of and the need for handicap accessibility throughout. And it's not just simply having a ramp. It's having stairs that are designed to a certain specification. It's having these spaces located physically in areas where they're needed. And as she pointed out, lighting. There's all these subtle things that go into it. Most people just think of ADA as just handicap ramps. Mm-hmm. It's so much more than just that. So more happy to take any questions, or if anybody needs any answers on that, I'm happy to lend them.
Thank you so much,
Thank you, Mayor and
Councilman-elect
Council.
Miller. We look forward to working with you when you're sworn in January, and we're not going to wait until then. Anytime, we'll be happy to call you. Thank you for availing yourself to be of service. Any other comments from citizens and delegates? Thank you. If not, we'll move on to item 24, staff reports. Do we have any staff reports?
No, ma'am, we don't have any.
Okay.
Madam Mayor, I hate
apologize.
to jump in right here. I don't know if Ms. Callan would want to share something with us that I'm very excited about.
Okay.
I knew if I tried to do it, I'd mess it up.
Yes, Karen Callan, Finance Director, 6695 Church Street. We had just talked earlier, and Mike asked me about the tax reform, and so probably you knew that the tax reform has passed. Mm-hmm. And so the advice that we did get from Mr. Bill Camp was good advice. Mm-hmm. We will not be able to do any advance refunding after 12/31, so we did make the right decision in moving forward.
So we saved, you told me we saved $500,000?
Yeah,
Wow.
$500,000 plus $200,000.
Oh.
Right.
Okay.
Mhm.
Very good.
In restructuring the debt, that we can probably use that 200,000 to either pay down our debt more or to put back into the conference center, which we know that we are a little behind in updating some of the capital in the conference center.
Great. Thank you, Ms. Cowan. I didn't mean to put you on the spot, but I thought that was something that,
Well, no, that's great news to share.
Yep.
Always want to hear that. Thank you so much, Ms. Callen. Thank you so much. Again, Councilman Miller. I don't know if we're gonna do 1 and 2 when you come in January, or Councilman Miller M and Miller T. But thank you so much.
I've been called many things.
Oh,
So.
no, you. Okay, any other staff reports? Any other business to come before council? Let us keep Council Member LaShawn Danley in our prayers, thoughts and prayers, as she's had a loss in her family. So we'll just keep her during this time of bereavement. We'll ask that you keep her in your thoughts and prayers. And Councilman Siegel, as he is away for certification, and he should be back soon. So we'll ask you to remember him as well. Okay, if there isn't any other business, then this meeting is adjourned.